Hello Jammy Gamers and welcome to the Top Tips series. This one's going to be a series aimed at new players on console or maybe returning players pending the nice summer update of 2024. Ready for that Alpha 22 console release. Let me know if you're really looking forward to it. We here at JJAM.Gaming we are on our live streams. Check them out as well if you've got time. But yeah, let's just jump into it. So tip number one on the lovely backdrop of me smashing zombies' heads is around the tree stump. Now tree stumps have great loot in them. It can vary from guns themselves, gun parts, night vision goggles and other treasures. So tree stumps are actually a good, worthwhile location. On the map you've got brown spots and black spots. The brown spots are clay. You're going to need that for a lot of your molds in the forge, and black spots are going to be either small boulders or large boulders, or maybe even caves and big sinkholes. So go check them out. Number 3 is water for the snow biome. So dig up the snow, take it to the campfire with some empty bottles and just cook it up. You got water for days. It's an infinite water source. If only we had Minecraft hoppers that could take that out automatically, we'd be drowning in our jars of water. 4. So when you're looting POIs and you smash down the front door or even the back door, hey, you can pop down to a hatch frame in that door frame just to prevent the zombies from getting in. You can also smash their heads over the top of that hatch frame and it creates a little bit of a buffer. Number 5. Zombies don't dig down. So this includes hatch frames. If you pop a hatch on top of a ladder, things like that, they won't dig directly down. They can't do that on console edition. So feel free to dig your base and build your base underground in relative safety. Tip number 6. So on the main game menu, you can go onto your game options and not the existing world options. On game options, you can go onto your visual settings. You can change the gamma up. Changing the gamma up somewhere even 50%, let alone all the way up to 100 or 80%, is going to improve your nighttime visibility. Now, I like to try and play the game quite vanilla, and it's a very dark game. It relies on a lot of ambient sounds, but if you want it just to be a little bit brighter, a little bit easier in the night or mining, turn this gamma setting up and it will really, it can help out your experience. Number 7, so chuck down chests in POIs or the front doors or even at junctions of towns and cities. This is somewhere that's quite memorable, so when your inventory is full you can dump a load of stuff into the chest and then come back at a later date. You know, just carrying the top priority items with you. Number 8, when you are looting here, there and everywhere, double check the toilets. So you get those human poos, which you can use for your fertilizer, which is just incredible for your crops. Check out the farming video to give you more tips on that. But also look out for pistols. For the classic video game toilet gun, you can find them inside those toilets all over the place, so they're definitely worth a look. Number 9. So the Iron Club, if you find this late game or even mid game usually, you've got something better. You've got your guns or you've got your sledgehammer. So just either scrap that Iron Club or smelt it in the forge or just do something else with it. It might be good as a little reserve weapon or an emergency weapon in case you die out in the wilderness. But by and large, get rid of the Iron Clubs. Number 10. So also on the game settings, not the world settings, but the game settings, there's a checkbox underneath where you've got your gamma setting. You can turn on distant terrain. So this one won't show you the distant POIs. It does help with the sort of fog of war type thing, but you can also, what it's designed to do is show you the terrain in the distance, which is good when you're exploring and you're looking for that particular biome, the burnt forest or a wasteland, to actually be able to scout that from further away. So that's a great option to have tipped. Number 11. So when you're off looting, you're running out of inventory space, try combining your gun parts. If you've learned the recipe already and you have a couple of pistol receivers or whatever it needs to be, grips and barrels, things like that, combine them where you can, assemble them. If you've got your workbench on you combine them, which is even better, but that was going to free up some inventory space for you. Tip number 12, bulk or noob craft at night time. So if you're going to go mining and hiding underground, I don't blame you. That game's scary. It can be an awful lot of stuff, particularly early game, going on above you or elsewhere that you just want to hide away from. But bulkcraft or noobcraft underneath the ground, build 4 bows at a time and then scrap them all, or 4 mallets, or build your arrows, or build your tools. Do something at night time whilst you're doing something else, and that can just help boost your levels, all that sort of good stuff, relatively for free if you're doing other things at the same time. Number 13, going back to the hatch. So you can stick it 1 hatch in the door frame. Yeah, that's fine, we've covered that already. But how's about 2? You can do them inverted so they rest side by side when they're opened. You can have 2 in a single door frame. So those crawlers swinging at your feet, they might destroy the first one. If you've got that second one, it's that extra layer of protection. It's only going to help you out. So pop down 2 hatch frames. 14. So electrical parts really just equals Duke's late game. If you crack open those light bulbs, those lights on the front porch, all those sorts of things you find plentiful across the POIs and houses in the wilderness, you're going to rack up a whole bunch of electrical parts, too many for you to consume even if you are fully lighting your base, so sell them for Dukes. Whilst at the trader, make sure you sell things individually. So you get more XP for your individual transactions than you do for bulk transactions. So don't go along and click the sell all button. Make sure you're selling these things individually to get the most out of your barter level and get the most amount of Dukes more often than not. 16. Use the wrench on shopping baskets in stores right after you've looted them. So if you are the scavenger, and Lord knows I am, you can wrench these shopping baskets to get another option and maybe try and get a slightly higher level. 17. So nurse zombies are going to give you medical supplies. Now, although there is risk in trying to take them down, they're one of the weaker zombies to try and take down. So in a pinch, you can go for the nurse zombies and loot their body and hope they've got a first aid kit on them. That'll be amazing. Otherwise, you got bandages, splints, blood kits, things like that can help you out in a pinch. 18. So bike tires are all over the place. You're going to find a vast majority of them all over the roads. So when you're wandering over the wilderness, you find your roads, you're going to find a whole bunch of these tires. Now after a while, you're going to find enough purple tires to stash and have spares and spares of your spares. So once you start to build them up, really consider selling what you've got. It's extra Dukes, and Dukes are the trader. Traders are fantastic, and you can go grab your auger parts, chainsaws, all those sorts of good things from the trader. So sell unnecessary tires. 19. The infection. So different zombies, dogs, things like that, they can infect you if they hit you. Now, it's real. It can hurt you. It will destroy your wellness. But eating honey or antibiotics will get rid of this effect. 20. So, the chem station can be learnt and then crafted. You know, it costs a lot of points, 30 odd points on the skill tree. You can actually find chem stations in the wilderness, in Booby Trap Bar. You can also find it in some of the larger, I think there's the Comedy Store or Brothers Theatre, one of those sorts of POIs, the large ones. They have a bar at the back, they can have chemistry stations in them. You want to break that down with a wrench and you'll pick up the item. 21, so the feral zombies, if you don't know what they look like, you'll find out soon enough. They usually hang out in the cities, but also screamers. They can call them in if your game score is high enough, if the days are long enough. And you know what? They run during the day. They are 3 blocks tall, they hit hard, they've got loads of health, and they run during the day. That's scary. 22! So try hitting the walls instead of these doors that have 3 layers of protection. The scrap, the wood, the scrap, the wood. Try hitting the doors, or the walls rather, next to the doors and see if that's got less HP. It can be done with vault doors as well, so inside banks, it's a good idea to hit the concrete walls next to it because that's got a lot less health than the massive steel vault doors. 23, we're back on the chem station. Now the chem station, as well as the larger venues that I've mentioned, you've also got popping pills. So they're rarer on my playthroughs. I can never really find them. I really struggle. But popping pills can have chem stations out the back, as well as other things like vitamins and antibiotics. They're a really great POI. If you do find it, mark it on the map and come back to it every 30 odd days when the loot respawns. Hey, little bonus tip. 24. So zombies are hard-coded to try and go for doors and door frames. So if you're hiding in a POI, you'll notice they always seem to zigzag and they seem to find the door or the doorway. Confuse them by blocking up that entrance and making a solid wall, then they won't necessarily know where to go. If you do want to try and funnel them into your build through certain ways, you can use doors or open doorways to try and get them exactly where you want them. It helps funnel them through to a kill chamber, a kill tunnel, what have you. So that's your 24/7 days to die tips done and dusted. Tune in to the next episode to get even more tips. I've still got a good page and a half of tips to go through. But check out more of our videos in the meantime. Check out our live streams. And really, a like and subscribe would be much appreciated. Drop down in the comments any other tips that you have for those new or returning players to 7 Days to Die Console Edition. And we'll see you on the next one. Thank you and goodbye.